Well, I've had a Tuttio Adria 24 for some time now, so I think I'll give you my final impressions on it. I've got well over 400 plus miles on it. Let's talk about build quality first. China manufactures millions of bikes, so they know a thing or two about bikes. You could purchase a low quality bike or a high quality bike, depending on how much you want to spend. While searching for e-bikes, you may notice that they almost all look similar. Most designs are tried and true from over a century of bike productions, and they differ just basically on quality of components and assembly. To me, Tuttio seem to have chosen decent quality components on the Adria. The frame looks to be solid, rigid, and from what I can tell, all the rods are very good. The bike rack is also heavy duty. It's not a typical wire rack that you see in the back. Brakes are hydraulic disc, and they work just fine. Although initially I felt it could use a better initial bite, I believe changing out the brake pads would help. I have had no issues with any of the electronics, controller, or the hub motor. I do not see any branding on these items though. I suspect they are off-the-shelf units. The display seems to be standard and seen on many other e-bikes, so it looks like they did not use any rot gut low quality parts on this bike. I do not see any UL listings through the internet or through UL itself on Tuttio or this particular bike being UL certified. Kind of difficult to actually find the owner of Tuttio, so searching UL, I couldn't find anything having to do with this bike. Now the Tuttio Adria may in the end be not UL certified, but possibly the individual components that make up the bikes are UL certified. The batteries are said to be good quality with a good BMS system. I don't doubt that. The charging battery does have European safe labels on them. An AI search of Tuttio bikes being caught on fire, I didn't find nothing out there, so it's probably a relatively safe assumption that this bike is pretty good as far as quality control. Now for ride quality, I find that the front shocks are a step above the basic suspension again on most bikes. It has both lockout and a preload on it. Shocks do not have any compression or rebound adjustments though. The rear shocks are air shocks, so they are adjustable. Overall, the ride is comfortable on the streets, muting any sudden jarring. Off-roads, the front shocks are just okay, allowing control without getting beaten up. The rear shock work out to be very good. The seat is very comfortable, even over long rides. The seating position is great for me. Adria has a mountain bike type handlebars, allowing for great maneuverability. Some may find this to be uncomfortable as you are slightly hunched over. Switching riding positions to relieve pressure on the wrist or installing a handlebar riser may help. The bike is perfectly sized for anyone from 5'3" to 5'10". Shorter riders will appreciate the sizing and be able to pedal the bike with proper leg extension. Mounting the bike is easy for short riders. Either use a curb or place your left foot on the pedal, push off, and swing your right leg over. Torque on this bike is very exceptional. Long steep hills, stiff headwinds are not an issue. And this is when I was only using the back wheels. Really tough situations, I will turn on the all-wheel drive. When all-wheel drive, there's a speed ramp up from a dead stop. I believe this is for safety reason. Preload the motor and the Adria is a rocket. I'm showing 0 to 20 times in a little over 2 seconds. Most other bikes on the 6 to 7 second range. Now initially I contacted Tuttio because the top speed was an issue. They advertised this bike as being going over 40 miles per hour, but the bike can only reach 35 to 38 miles per hour. And this is not just me, it's well documented on the internet. Initially, Tuttio thought it was a controller issue, but seems to be something more complicated. Since then, Tuttio has edited the ad to show a lesser top speed. But regardless, Adria may not be a top speed demon, but it is a torque demon. Torque is more important for most people, as torque gets you up to speed, able to handle heavier loads, able to go up hills, or fight headwinds without stressing out the motors. 35 to 38 miles per hour is plenty fast on a bike type frame suspension tire. Range turns out to be very good for me. I ride about 6 miles a day using personal assist level 2. I rarely need to recharge. Naturally, using throttle only or going through a higher PAS level would drain the battery faster. But for me, I rarely charge the bike up. 30 amp hours is plenty big capacity for both power and range. Naturally, like I says, basically pedaling the bike and just using the motor to give me assist when needed. And also, I found it interesting that the speedometer actually matches my GPS. Now, Tuttio as a company, when I purchased the bike, they responded to my messages within a day. They are China-based, so there is a time difference, so they'll respond to you next morning. As time went on, the response took longer. We talked about the top speed claim issue. I was eventually ghosted. They no longer responded to me on that. I believe that Tuttio probably grew too fast, faster than, they're able to expand their other resources. So they concentrated on developing bikes or producing bikes instead of doing the infrastructure needed to withstand a growth of this capacity. Now, the Adria bike at the time, the price to value ratio, the Tuttio was on top of the game. They were the first ones to come out with a 24-inch dual motor and a 52-volt system. Apparently, I think just my personal observation, they are not as big as the company as they claim. The growth has placed stress on the infrastructure, so I'm hearing about some quality control issues. The product lineup seems to be shifting. The Adria 24 was discontinued since it's fundamentally overlapped the Seeker 24, although the Adria is a superior bike to the Seeker 24. They seem to be moving away from the e-bikes and going towards the e-motorbikes. Even the Seeker 24 is no more. The only e-bike left is the Adria 26. So it looks like they're moving over towards the pit bike, dirt bike type options. Demand is great. They're highly recognized in this field. And with the limited resources, I guess they're moving away from the e-bikes. But still, Tuttio delivers the goods, which is a good thing. You order it, you get the bike. They have stayed away from competing in the sub $1,000 market, which is a good thing. Money seems to be directed on whatever is most profitable rather than expansion type resources. Customer service may be overburdened and thus lacking. I feel they have every intentions to be a long-term player and not a fly-by-night operation. But will they be around in a few years? Who knows? With upcoming e-bike legislation that would apply to any e-bike companies and even stiffer competitions, any bike company is under duress. If you're on the market for a good affordable bike and it's handy with repairing your own bike or have a decent bike shop nearby, then Tuttio is still someone to put on your list. I do not see any proprietary parts, so long-term repairs should be durable. Having access to electric schematics would be helpful, but knowledgeable bike shops should be able to handle or figure it out. Big question. Would I buy Tuttio e-bike today? To be honest, I was more comfortable 1 year ago than today. I think they are a company with good intentions, but the fast growth has caused issues with the production, quality control, and customer service. They dropped the popular e-bike and using the limited resources to producing the widely popular e-motorbikes. They are actually a company and not merely a drop shipper. In the end, as with any e-bike companies out there, pay due diligence, as over time, anything could happen. For me, the Tuttio Adria 24 has been a great bike. Class-leading performance, looks good, reliable, rides good, and fits shorter to average height riders. If still offered, purchase one today. I have no reservations on the Adria 24. It's a great bike, great fun riding it. What more can you ask? I hope you liked this video. Please click the like button. And again, when you have a chance, please subscribe. And thank you for watching.